Good morning all, or good afternoon, should I say. Welcome and thank you for joining us for our second webinar, how to fill out your CEO form. Anyone who joined us last week or anyone's interested, we will have our last talk that we did last week, Exploring College Opportunities. We have that up on our new YouTube page, Mead Guidance. We will also put this talk up on Mead Guidance for you. There is a lot of links and a lot of jargon in it, so don't worry, it will be there for you to watch and to go into in your own time for yourself. This is a live interactive webinar, so we would ask you to turn off your camera if you don't want to be recorded. And we would ask people to pop the questions in the chat box at the bottom of your screen. We will mute all participants just to cut down on background noise. And I'll just admit people as we're going along. We'll do the questions at the end of the presentation for each part, so you can ask questions, and we'll open up the microphones. If anyone does want to come in, they can ask a question later too if they want that way. So I'll just share my screen, just do a few, and then let's see. No. So again, this will cover how to complete your CEO form. It is based towards mature students. However, the detail in it will cover all levels. We will have details about QQI links also. So just take that and note that it will cover all. So the areas we're going to look at is applying to college as a mature student, options for going to college, the CEO system and how to apply, and how you write your statement of interest, or as some people know it, as your personal statement. So that's what our side will cover. And before we go into that, we're going to bring in Fiona Canning, the Access Officer from Technical University Dublin, just to talk about her organisation and what the three colleges have to offer you. Fiona, can you unmute yourself and you can come in then? And I'll stop sharing and I'll let you share then.
Okay. Okay, hi everyone. So my name is Fiona and I'm from TU Dublin. So I'm delighted to be here this afternoon just to tell you a little bit more about TU Dublin if you're interested in going on to further studies next year. So to start then, why is that not? Yeah. So I suppose maybe some of you are asking what is or who is TU Dublin. So we're Ireland's first technological university. There's loads of technological universities throughout Europe and further afield, but we're the very first in Ireland. And what happened there was the Dublin Institute of Technology, DIT, the Institute of Technology in Blanchardstown and the Institute of Technology in Tala, we formed in 2019 to become Ireland's first technological university. We offer a wide range of different programs and disciplines, and you can start at the very beginning with us and work your way up, through to undergraduate and on to further studies if you so wish. So we're a university that has loads of different courses in the areas of arts, business, science, engineering and technology. When we did our head count there in September, we had 29,700 students and researchers studying with us, and students do come from all over Ireland and from different parts of the world. And just with TU Dublin, we take in different categories of students every year. They can be students that have done their Leaving Cert, a big number in that area. We would take students in that are doing their PLC or FETAC course at the moment. We would take in a number of mature students, and they're students that are over 23 that have decided to come back to college to gain maybe a qualification. And then we also take in international students. So they come from different parts of the world to study in Ireland and gain a qualification. So, we've loads of different courses. So what we did was we broke them down into 12 disciplines. So these are the key 12 disciplines that we have courses on offer. First of all, you've got architecture and built environment. You've got art, design and media. We put business, law and languages courses together. We've computing, information technology. We have data analytics and maths. We do engineering courses. Then we've got your culinary, hospitality and tourism, music and drama, science, environment, social science and education, and then sports and leisure. So where are we located then? And I suppose that's quite important if you're thinking of coming to study with us. So first of all, we've got the Blanchardstown campus, which is probably the nearest one for a lot of you if you're living in the Navan area. So the Blanchardstown campus have business courses, they do computing courses, and I know always from VTOS in Navan, we would always get a lot of students interested in our computing courses and also our digital forensics and cybersecurity course. We do engineering and then we do humanity courses. So that's like your early childhood, your applied social care. We've got the Tala campus and they also have those 4 main areas, but they also do science programs and they also have some catering and hospitality. Then we've got City Campus, and City Campus is kind of broken into 3 locations. You've got Ainger Street, and Ainger Street do all their business courses. You've Bolton Street if you're interested maybe in architecture, engineering or built environment. And then we've got our brand new flagship campus, which is Grange Gorman. Some of you might be wondering, where is Grange Gorman? Grange Gorman is located actually on the Navan Road, so very accessible for you if you're coming from Meath. It's really a state-of-the-art facility, there's really excellent facilities. It's a continuous development. I mean, this year was the year it really opened, and because of COVID-19 it was slightly delayed, but all the courses that go on there are very much the science courses, the computing courses, some media courses and some humanity courses. And because we have so many different courses, do bear in mind when you're applying for a course to TU Dublin, it will always state quite clearly which campus you will be studying and applying to, whether that's Blanchardstown, Tala, and it will be specific as to which one in City so that there's no confusion. So why would you choose TU Dublin? Well, like I said, we're the newest and the largest university. And even though we're a very large university, we do continue to retain small class sizes. And that's very important to some students. Lecturers will get to know you on an individual basis. You're broken into tutorial groups. So maybe you've been to a large lecture, but in the tutorial group setting, you can maybe ask a question of something you didn't understand in the large lecture setting. One thing we're very proud of is that an awful lot of our courses are very practical courses and there's a work placement built into them. That's a nice feature because if you think about it, you're putting into practice the theory you've been learning while gaining your qualification. And after you qualify, when you go looking for a job at interview settings, you can actually talk about that work placement. Yes, you've got your qualification, you've done all the theory-based subjects, but you've also done that work placement. We've the ladder system of progression, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit more detail further on. We're also part of some access admission schemes. One of them that's quite important is the DARE scheme, and that's very much if someone has a disability. We've a variety of different scholarships that students can apply for. It can be that you're very good at a sport, we've financial packages available. The idea is you continue your sport while you're studying with us. Now, obviously, you have to be playing maybe on a competitive basis, maybe part of the Meath team or something like that. And we've other scholarship programs if you're not into sport. If you're interested in looking them up, do go on to our website because further details are available there. I mentioned the ladder system progression, and this is a unique feature to TU Dublin. Unlike your traditional universities like Trinity or DCU or UCD, with them you have to sign up for 4 years to get a level 8 qualification. Okay, with us you can sign up for 4 years and get your honours bachelor degree. That's absolutely fine. But for some students, and I suppose it's a big commitment to say you want to go to college for 4 years, plus it's an expensive time. If you want, you can do it on this ladder system of progression. So that just means you can apply for a level 6, do 2 years, pass all your exams, and you get a higher certificate. You can go on and do third year. Third year will get your ordinary bachelor degree. You can opt out at that stage and go and look for a job, or you might just decide, you know what, I've done 3 years, I'd like to do fourth year and get my honours degree. But by applying for that particular ladder system of progression, it's just you're doing it on a phased basis. You're getting a knocked out clause at each stage, so you can go and look for a job. You can do that and you might decide in 4 years' time, you're sorry you didn't do the honours degree, you did as far as the ordinary degree. You can come back to us and study the fourth year once you've passed all your exams. So that's just a nice feature to students if they want to take it on a phased basis. So why would you choose TU Dublin? Well, like I said, we're very conveniently located, and I suppose when you're living in Meath, we're very accessible, be it that you want to go to City Campus, Blanchardstown campus, which is probably the nearest to you, and then Tala, okay, it's a little bit further away. They have some very good courses and they are on the Lewis line from city centre. The last time I looked at the CAO handbook, we've actually 167 courses on offer, and I think there is something there for everyone. The obvious one missing would be we don't offer nursing programs. Nice feature we've built into a lot of our courses is common entry, and that's where you can do a first year common entry. So supposing you were interested in business, you can do first year common entry and then make up your mind which one you want to specialise in second, third and fourth year. Similarly in engineering, in some computing courses and in some science courses. Now, the Learn and Work programmes, this is a nice feature and it's only available on the Blanchardstown campus. I'm going to just explain a little bit more about that in that. Supposing you sign up to the Learn and Work for computing, yes, you still apply through the CAO. What you're doing there is you're signing up for 2 years to get a higher certificate in computing. The first year is broken into 2. The first 6 months you go to the Blanchardstown campus, you study the theory subjects of computing and obviously some practical subjects that you're based in a lab. The second 6 months, we get you a work placement and it's a paid work placement. It's approximately €200 per week. You go there 4 days a week. And then on the 5th day, the Friday, you usually come back to us to do the theory and practical subjects as well. It's the same again in second year. And then at the end of the 2 years, if you've passed all your exams, you've got a qualification, a higher cert in computing. You can leave and go and look for a job, or you can decide to filter into third year of a computing course. Just unlike all our other programs, you're getting paid for that work placement. And we have a lot of well-known companies signed up to this particular program. Similarly in engineering, except for engineering, you have to sign up for 3 years to do a Learn and Work program. You sign up through the CAO for those courses, you will be required to do an aptitude test and an interview for it as well. So just to mention that. Great support for students. I'll talk about that further on. Mentioned work placement. We also have study abroad options. If you like the idea of going abroad to study as part of your course, you can go for a full year or a half a year. It's usually in second or third year of your course you do that. You can go to universities in Europe that we have links with. It's the Erasmus program, and you do get a grant towards your study and costs while you're abroad. You might think, I don't have a European language, I wouldn't be able to do that. It's interesting that all the European colleges that we have links with, an awful lot of them offer the option to study through English. So don't rule it out if it's something you'd like to do. Now, I'm conscious there's different categories of students at this talk. So very quickly, the 3 main categories I'm going to talk about is your Leaving Cert student, you've got your mature student, and you've got your students that are doing the PLC or QQI qualification. So very quickly, a Leaving Cert student, you're entering college on the basis of how well you do on your Leaving Cert. So this is just a sample display of what you needed to do for your Leaving Cert and the points that were required. So do you remember I said there at the beginning, you'll always know what campus you're going to be studying on. So if you take that optometry, that's taking place on the Grange Gorman campus. The points the Leaving Cert students required just for Leaving Cert come by was 509 points. It's a 4-year programme. Please do read the Leaving Cert minimum entry requirements. And this is on all our courses because it tells you exactly you have to have 6 subjects in your Leaving Cert. You had to get 2 H5s. You had to have English or Irish and also an O3 or H7 in maths. Now, the other grade requirement, you had to get a H4 in one of the science subjects of physics, chemistry, or biology. What happens there is sometimes, and particularly mammies in August, will ring us and say, you know, Mary got 519 points in her Leaving Cert. We can't understand how she didn't get her offer of optometry. And when we go into further detail with the mother or with the student, it turns out they haven't got their science subject. So they're not going to get an offer of a place, even though they have a very good Leaving Cert and have above the points that are required, but because they didn't have the science subject. Do you see the early childhood care there? That's just to show you the difference between the level 7 and the level 8. The level 7 points are always lower. They were 220 points, whereas the level 8 were 270 points. The level 7 there, you only had to have 5 subjects in your Leaving Cert. The level 8, you had to have 6 subjects in your Leaving Cert and 2 higher grade papers. Additional requirements here are there's Garda vetting required, and that's because you go out on work placement and will be working with young children. But don't worry if you see Garda vetting, we do that after you start with us. It's just more to make you aware that we do look for it. Mature students then, so as Ailish said at the very beginning, if you're over 23 years of age, I always say this is one good reason why it's good to be mature, because you actually have 2 chances at it. So taking your application as a mature student, you have to be over 23 years on the 1st of January of the year of entry. You still apply to the CAO. But the good news with us is you are not competing with Leaving Cert students or QQI or PLC students. You're just competing with other mature students. So do bear that in mind. You have to complete page 4 of the CAO form, and that's very much your personal statement. It's maybe about your previous study, maybe the studying you're doing at the moment. You'll mention that in your application. Maybe you have work experience. And I always say with the work experience, you know, do take a little bit of time completing this personal statement, because we'd have students, mature students applying, say, for our applied social care. And they might say, well, sure, I've no work experience in that area. But if you question them, you could say, well, have you any voluntary work? Do you do any work maybe with Vincent de Paul? Maybe there's someone sick in your family that you're looking after them. That's important to put in, because if you think about it, you're competing with other mature students. If you have something related to your application that's relevant, you will be marked for that. And then any other information you think is relevant to your application that you feel the person should know when you're filling in that CAO form. So do take a little bit of time to fill that in. You will have to complete an aptitude test. In some courses, you do have to complete an interview as well. It states clearly on our website on each course if you have to do that. So do take a look at that. And don't get too panicked about the aptitude test. It's very much kind of based on English and maths, just testing your level of English and maths. You can't do any preparatory work on it beforehand. You know, if you're scheduled to do an aptitude test with us, you just have to come and do it on the day. And we don't give out previous past papers, so everyone is in the same position. And then the good news is if you make your application by the 1st of February, you will get your offer under round 0. And that's where you will see, I must have done okay filling in that page 4. I must have done okay on that aptitude test. I'm getting an offer under round 0, because round 0 is issued by the CAO in July. It's before any Leaving Cert results come out or any Leaving Cert points as well. So you'll know straight away, I got that place in July. I definitely did okay on that form, and I must have done okay on that aptitude test. The second stage then for students that are applying that have the PLC or QQI, okay? Now there's some mature students probably online today that have both. You're going to apply because you're over 23, but you're also going to apply because you're doing your FETAC or PLC course at the moment. And this is what I mean, you have a second shot at it. If you don't get an offer in July, your QQI will come into play in August when all the Leaving Cert results are issued, when the CAO points are determined, and that's always usually around the 3rd week of August. So if you get an offer, then you'll know, well, because I mustn't have got a place as a mature, but I got a place as a QQI applicant. We always say to students, make sure you have a full award, and that usually means studying 8 modules on your PLC course. We accept students from level 5 or 6. Please do review the minimum entry requirements for our programs on our website if you're applying as a QQI student or FETAC student. What I mean by that is it states quite clearly what you have to have on certain PLC courses. If you go into our website and do a search of QQI students, it'll throw up exactly what the entry requirements are for each of our courses, because they're different depending on the course you're applying for. Giving you an example, if you're interested in computing, you obviously have to be doing a maths element if you don't have an old Leaving Cert maths. Okay, because
just a gentle reminder on time there, sorry Fiona.
Nearly there. And then all our courses, we have reserved places for QQI applicants. Blanchardstown is a little bit different. We don't reserve any places. So you're just competing with students. And I just want to quickly flick to say that we didn't produce we didn't produce a prospectus this year. What we have is we have a CAO hub up on our website. It has each individual course. You can drill in there and look at what the entry requirements are. It'll tell you a lot about the course. It'll tell you about the career opportunities. And finally, I want to say, and it's probably very relevant, if you're interested in coming to TU Dublin, please do come to our virtual open day this Saturday. It's from 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock. We'll have lectures there, and we will have further ones in 2021. If you have any questions, I'm happy to take them now at the end. One other thing just to mention is on our website, we have a Unibuddy system, and that's where you can chat to current students. So if you're interested in digital forensics and cybersecurity, we have a student, Emma, there. If you want to ask her any question about the course, or maybe something about the campus or about student life, do just drop her a line, go into TU Dublin /chat, ask her the question. She'll come back to you very quickly with the answer. I probably didn't cover everything, but I'm hoping if you have any questions, maybe that'll cover it. And I've put my email address in there. Please do get in touch. You know, you mightn't think to ask a question today, but maybe when you start filling in your CAO form, you want to clarify something, I'm more than happy to answer you by email. So thanks very much for listening, and thanks to Ailish and Aisling for asking me along today.
Well, thanks very much,
Too
Fiona.
much over the time allocated. I hope.
Oh, you're okay. There is a couple of questions in. There's
Great.
one about the Learn Work program for computing.
Yes.
I want a bit more information. Is it working throughout the year, or is it just for 1 year, or throughout the whole course? Or
It's throughout the whole course. So basically in computing, it's a 2-year program. You come for the first 6 months to our campus and you're doing practical and theory subjects on the campus with lecturing staff. Second 6 months, then you're going on your work placement. You're going there 4 days a week. You're still coming into us on the Friday and you're doing your theory and practical subjects. And it's the same again in second year. Once you've passed all your exams, you've got a higher cert in computing, learn and work. And as I said, you can leave and go and look for a job, or you can filter into a third year of a program with us.
okay.
Is that making sense?
Yeah. And then there's another question about Blanchardstown and the social care and social studies course. So I've sort of answered a little bit of it. So they're looking for a part-time option, but it seems to be just the honours degree part is part-time when I was looking at it there. But also just around the size of the classes, I suppose, and how much is allocated to the mature students, many places.
Yeah, there's usually about 60 in the applied social care program. Now that's a nice one because there's work placement twice, 3 months in second year and 3 months again in third year. And we organise that placement, and you're meant to do 2 different placements. So you might work with vulnerable young people in second year, and then you might work with the elderly in third year. So it gives you an idea what sort of a job you want to look for. Mature students, we usually take in roughly between 10 and 15% of that group of 60 are mature students. And I have to say, I take my hat off to mature students, because I always think mature students give up an awful lot to come back to college. They don't go out maybe as much as young 18 and 19-year-old leaving cert students, but they always, we did a survey on it, they always do the best in their exams, at the end of the semesters each year.
And they just had a follow-up question about the work experience. I know you answered a little bit. I suppose, is it 1 day a week allocated, or how many hours are allocated to work experience?
No, the work experience, you actually leave the college for a full 3 months on work placement. We source the placement for you. We have a number of links with different areas of applied social care. It's unpaid, but we find a lot of students sometimes get weekend work, or they get summer work with whoever they do the work placement. And like I said, you do 2 different placements each year, but it's part of your course, considered a subject, and it's part of your course.
Okay, thanks very much.
Fiona, can I ask, is there any intention of bringing back the part-time social care course? Because you used to run that.
We used to run it, and it just kind of filtered away that there wasn't enough students enrolling. They'll always keep it, in mind, kind of, but there just hasn't been demand for it to offer it part-time, which is a pity, because I know it suits some students to study part-time. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Eilish?
Now, is that all the questions on that side there?
All the questions.
For your time, and I love the Learn and Work program. Is very unique to your college, so it's a really great scheme to have. So yeah, as I say, contact Fiona if you have any questions.
Absolutely.
That she can follow up, especially with the bits we'll be talking about now, the how to fill the form out, the technicalities of it. If there's anything that you find sticky, that Fiona can help you with also.
Yeah.
Great.
That's great.
Okay, thanks everyone, and the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
No, I'm not sharing my screen again. Okay, so Fiona has gone through some bits, so I'll skip through a good bits that she's spoken about. She just mentioned again that if you're a mature student, you're 23 before the 1st of January 2021. So that would be that you're born before the 1st of January 1998, just to get the date for you. As she said, she's got places reserved, and they do a different assessment and interview for the mature students. So just re-emphasizing that again. So important dates, what we're going to look at is for your form. We try to encourage people to come in on the early online discount application. You can see there, if you do get it before the 20th of January, it's €30. So it's a small difference in the cost, but it is worthwhile getting in. It doesn't mean it closes on that date. It just means you're in, and you can go in and out as many times on the form as you like up to the 1st of February. So just be conscious of that it's a good price to get in, and we'd encourage you to do that. All the documents that we'll be looking for, we've given the address there. So when you're sending off your supporting documents that we'll be talking about, The address in Galway is on the screen, and they're photocopies. Don't send originals, please. So just to go over a little bit what Fiona said about different levels. So she was talking about the national framework of qualifications. So people mightn't have seen this before. It goes from 1 to 10. And the levels that Fiona and the universities would be talking about would be from 6 upwards to the 10. So she explained it very well that it's a ladder system within her technical university, which, you know, I think is a very good benefit of Blanchardstown. We will also just talk about some backup plans and some other programs that, if you're not ready for university, or if you feel you need to get some extra skills, I think some of the PLC courses or the access courses are very good. So we're going to have a little chat about them also. So what is a PLC course and access course? We're putting up a few of them on the screen for you. Now there is links into it, and the links you'll be able to click into, or we'll be able to send you the presentation on if you want full detail of them. Fiona mentioned our VITAS course in NAV, and it is an excellent program for over 21 years of age. You need to be on social welfare payments or credits for 6 months. They're still taking applications at the moment if you're interested. So the Leaving Cert we would do is through Science and Humanities, and then we'd have a QQI, a Cloud Computing course, and that's why we would have questions on some of the computer areas for Blanchardstown. We also have centres for VITAS in Drogheda and Dundalk, and they do run different programs, but equally again, I've seen the confidence that students get going back, getting their writing skills strong, their research skills strong, even that how do I get back into the swing of learning really is emphasised. The student that comes into us in September is much stronger by the time they leave, and the confidence is really great to see growing in them. You'll see access programs also in Maynooth, Trinity, TU Dublin and UCD. They're equally brilliant courses to be on, but talking to all the mature student officers and access officers, they value the VITAS program equally as high as them. So just to have options on them, one of the part-time ones that a few of the past students did like was the UCD one. It sounds like it's a little bit further away, but they like the fact that they could do some courses, you can mix them in the morning and the evening on the access course. So it was a good option for some learners who couldn't commit to a full-time course. So again, just to be aware, there is the few different options of going to college. So you have your mature student route, you have your Leaving Cert route, and you have your QQI route. I would check what each university is looking for. Some will ask for specific requirements within your QQI. So we'll talk about that as an example on nursing in a slide further on. It does need to be a full major award. And as Fiona mentioned, there has to be certain levels in certain results for that area also. In the presentation, I've given you a link that is through a great website called Careers Portal, where you can click on, add your QQI course in, whether it's QQI in childcare, you can put that code in and it'll show you exactly which universities or technical universities or universities will take your QQI course. So Careers Portal, if you haven't been on it, it's a brilliant course. We hope to get them in on a later webinar to talk about their website, but great for all levels. There is also links throughout the presentation on videos from CAO. So there is one there that you can go in on your own time and have a look at, again, more of the technicalities if you so wish. So I think Fiona covered this too, that there is different levels you can go for. On your college form, you will get 2 separate rounds. So you have the level 6 and 7, which is the higher diploma and the ordinary degree. And then the level 8 is your honours degree. So you'll get 10 options in both. Your choices on one list does not affect the other list at all. So you try to fill up as much as possible. Talking to the students from last year's VITAS or mature students, they did say that they wished to put more options on their form. In last week's talk, you would have seen Vanessa said her number 10, by the time she went to go to university, was actually her number 1. She, in the change of mind after going to see the campus and to see her interview and get a place, she moved up to number 1. So keep your options at the moment, put them in the genuine preference that you think. What is my dream course? Put that in number 1. Don't feel that I'm not going to get the QQI points, or I'm not going to leave the cert points, or I'm not too sure if there's enough mature student placed in that course. If it's your dream course, put it in number 1 and work down to your genuine preference of order. So again, there's just another video on that area again too that we can click on later on if you so wish. So that's what it looks like when you go in to add in your courses. We'll have a video at the end that KIT have done on actually how to put your courses in on the demo website, so we can draw your attention to that. But there's 10 on both sides, and both of them are independent. A number of learners have got an offer on both. Quite a number of them actually have got an offer on both in past years, and then it's been ringing us to say, well, which one will I take? So we are there throughout the summer to give you a hand if you're not too sure about which one to choose. Fiona mentioned about the minimum entry requirements. So just have a look. If there is certain courses that has a minimum entry requirement, mature students won't have as many, but we have found if there's a maths or science element in a course, you would be more beneficial doing a VTOS or preparation course in this area first. Just be also noteful, is there extra documents that I need to fill? So yes, I'm going to do my CEO form. I'll try get it in the early round to be cheaper, but do I need to do an extra form if I'm going to Trinity, or if I'm going to Marino, or if the primary schools? They sometimes have an extra form that they will ask you to fill. On the CEO book, we have numerous ones in the office that we can send out if anyone's interested. They will have a code or a name beside them called restricted. If it says restricted, you must have it in before the 1st of February, because there's obviously an exam or an interview or a portfolio that you need to get ready. So if it's restricted, it must be on the courses by the 1st of February. So just be aware of that. Fiona mentioned, yeah, that the mature students, that most of them do require them. They're assessed on the mature grounds. And again, definitely for the 1st of February is the cutoff day for most courses. So I don't know if we've got anyone for nursing. If we have anyone for nursing, just let us know. You can come in on the microphone. Otherwise, we will skip on to the next section. And then you can, if there anyone is interested in nursing at a later date, they can go on to these screens. So don't know if we have anyone in there for nursing today. No, nursing is just a slightly different procedure. It goes through public jobs and it's an assessment. So we'll just skip through the nursing. No. So again, we'll just take a pause here and we'll put up our details on the screen. So you can see myself and Aisling, we work in LME2B. We are an independent and impartial service. So what that means is we will give, sorry, it's gone back to the previous one. We will give options on all levels and all providers. What suits you is really what we're here to help with. We'll help with the finer details, the form too, and sitting down. So we're back in the office and we have a COVID-friendly office in Railway Street. Our numbers are on screen there. So if anyone wants to email us or contact us to arrange an appointment, we can sort that out for you. And we have a similar service in Louth, in Dundalk and Drogheda. And there's Anne and Stephanie. They're equally there to help you on your application if you're nearer to that border. Now, I suppose what we want to have a chat about is your personal statement. So what makes a form different for a mature student? Mature students, you need to write a small piece about yourself. So it is around 200 words. It has to be strong because you need to show them, you know, your first impression to get to the next step of the interview. So we strongly recommend that you research it, you get a proofread, and that you can send it to ourselves or the tutors or your guidance classes just to make sure that it's strong. It will take time to get it right. So we will use the foundation of what we have. If it's a longer one, we will use it for other things like the university scholarship. If anyone's going on to that, we will use it again to hold on to it. But I suppose the 3 areas we said, if you're going to write 200 words, where do I start? The learners always ask us. So we look at the past. What has led you back to this point? Why are you returning to education? So you need to relate this to some experience and try give them an example even too. The present, why this course? You know, again, this piece, we will talk about that. It has to be, it's very small, but you can send a longer one on to the universities or the institutes of technology. So if you're going for a few different types of courses, you can't say really why this course. But if you have only one type of course, you can say why you're going for that course. What about the content do you like? It's probably putting a slant on it. How can you sell yourself to the college really is what they're going to be putting it in. So again, if you have more than, where's the one that the future there's gone. So that'll be the middle part of your personal statement. So the past, the present, and your future. Future, where do you see yourself going? What's your aspirations? Where would you like to go after the degree? Now, we know that's a hard question at this stage. It is something that they don't mind if you don't know, because your time will change. Even between now and the end of term, you will change your mind in courses. So careers could change. But if you do have something particular in mind, you can mention it at that point in your personal statement. So if you're putting it in, it's on part 9 of the personal statement form. The dates do close on the 1st of February. Mature students do get a little extra time till the 1st of March to change the wording a little bit in the personal statement. Now, they don't get to add in any new courses, but they do have a little extra time to work on the personal statement. So there is a little extra time there. If you're going to put in a longer one into the CEO, into the post, make sure you note it in section 9. Say, I'm going to put in a statement and it's in the post. We would encourage you then to put your CEO number on everything and to put your name on everything. As you know, they get a lot of paperwork in, so we don't want to get lost on you. So start early is the key thing. If you think, you know, where do I start to write it? How would I like to go about it? Attend your virtual open days, contact the mature student officer, start to draft, give it a go in that past, present, future, look at some of the points on it and see, well, how can I get a proof of it done just to get me started on it? And then we can work it out and tease it out with you. There's a link down the bottom there from South Dublin Careers that it is they've given a great kind of breakdown of different sections on it. They've given, if there's supplementary forms and you need a certain word count or they're limiting your word count, they broke it down into 100 words for where you're come from, where you'd like to go, what your ambitions are. So that I would recommend linking into their leaflet. The DKIT did a brilliant one on the virtual demo website too. So they broke it down into how do I actually physically put my courses in? How do I to do the sections at the start? So there's a section at the start where which round am I entitled to go to? So is it the QQI round, the mature student round, or can I take a few of them? They talk about that in the demo too. Now it is 15 minutes, so we won't play it today, but it is a great one to have a look at. They've done a good job on it. So just to repeat, keep all documents in a folder. You know, hold on to everything. Try get organized early and set up some reminders for dates. So try get working on your drafts as soon as possible, and always keep a copy of your online application. When you're doing it, choose a username and password you will remember. So your username is usually your CEO number. Write it on the front of your CEO book. And just check always that your email, your date of birth is correct and your PPS is correct. We had a student last year who it turned out his email was wrong and it was really hard to get reset to get him back in. And then we lost some time doing that when we need to actually fix up a few bits of his form. So do that. That will be crucial when you're going back and that your email, your date of birth and your PPS is correct. So now, I know we flew through that, so we can take any questions on it, and we actually are here to take the drafts or to give you a hand on that if you need any extra help.
There's no questions on it at the moment. I think maybe just say, Eilish, that if you have a Leaving Cert and the QQI and a mature student, you can tick all the boxes.
Yeah.
They're all independently assessed. So
yeah, and that's definitely where they were strong in DKT. They showed the round, so
yeah.
it doesn't affect each other. So there might be like 60 places in the social care that Fiona talked about. You know, 30 of them might be for the Leaving Cert, and then another will be broke down between the mature student and the QQI. So do tick all boxes that are covered for you. And again, if you're not too sure, come in and book an appointment, and we'll sit down in a one-to-one with you to go through the form. That's no problem at all.
No. Okay, here's one. Is that CAO book in the Navan LME to be? It is.
It is now. Our library area has been moved into a private office just for COVID. For COVID, we couldn't take, chance on people touching things. So we have moved it into our one-to-one office. So just even if you want to pop down and ask us, we'll get the books out for you. Once we hand them across, we won't be taking them back.
I'll be in tomorrow anyway.
If anyone wants to pop in, or if you're in your one-to-ones, we've all the books there. Now, as you see, Blanchardstown didn't do a book this week and Trinity didn't do a book this year. So some of them haven't done the books, but the CEO books, we've tons of them downstairs, definitely. Aisling will be in tomorrow, and I'll be back in Monday next week. So we're there if you want to pop in to ask us for them.
Any more questions?
Do you want to say anything else on Aisling, on personal statements or anything that you feel would be beneficial in how to write them?
Not really. I think it's just, as you said, like you're looking at your past, experience and how it's formed your decision today, and you're looking at things you may have overcome in your life to show the kind of character you have. That's what you're really trying to do. And then I suppose in the present, you're looking at the courses, but you could be applying for different types of courses. But it's to show that you're determined, that you're going to do the work that you need to do. Nothing is going to stand in your way. And you've looked at the practical implications as well of going to college, things like how you're going to get there, transport, childcare, and financial restraints as well. So all that is sort of taken into account.
Yeah, and they do ask you that in the minute interviews, especially they ask you the practical sides to see if you've thought about them. And a lot of our mature students, they would feel like they mentioned that finance and stuff was an issue for them. So we went through all the details of the different grants and everything like that with them. So we will do some videos up at a later time on some of the scholarships and Susie grants and stuff that you can get. I think then, I suppose that the last area I would say on it, that is the mature students, they're the ones that doubt themselves the most. However, when they come back, and we were talking to some of the ones that went from VTOS or from other courses last year, they're the ones that actually hold the class together, the glue. They're the ones that the young people rely on and actually come to. And once they get their feet, they actually fly in the class. And as mature students ourselves, I really enjoyed the time of it. The years did fly. I was thinking about it for a few years before I went, but I'm so delighted I did go back. And I suppose you'll bring more to the dynamic of your chosen course than you realize. And it's about believing in yourself and putting yourself forward. So we really hope that you do take the opportunity and put in an application and go for it, definitely.
Okay.
Anything else in there, Aisling?
No, I don't think so. I'm just going to put our email address in there.
Yeah, chat.
And do you want to put up the contact details again in case anybody wants to take down free phone number?
Now, if you're in the VTOS, Angela will be, contacting next week to see about appointments too. So that's no problem. It's a bit different from other years. Sorry, present slide. Where is it? It didn't go. That we just have to do appointments more than drop-ins. We would have had drop-ins up to this point, a lot of our thing, but everything will be appointments for the next while. Sorry. Oh my God. And sorry, it won't come up there at the moment, but it's small there on the screen. Just the toolbars blocking me at the moment. But yeah, feel free to give us a call and have our mobile numbers there. We're here to give you a hand.
And like on previous years, I've taken in a lot of the personal statements and had a look at them and checked them for spelling and grammar and all that. There's no problem doing that either. That's no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know where we are, you know our faces now, so please give us a call or come to an appointment. And the earlier start, the more time we can spend it with you, as we do find when the 1st of February comes, it's just too compact to get time to look at stuff, especially when we have people from outside in the public coming to us too. So do get in early, and a lot of virtual open days are coming up at the moment. Do get in to see them. That will be your research for your interview, so do keep track of the information and the people you talk to in the day, and try get talking to a mature student on the course that you'd like to get to, so that will help with your research also. Okay. No.
Linda's just said she was researching courses, so just said about Qualifax to give you a list of courses, and also the college websites are very important.
Yeah, and definitely now, yeah, college, and knowing the breakdown of your course, so getting into the subject side of things, seeing what's on each year, finding out about, yeah, the breakdown, is there work placement on the course, all that detail. And sometimes the colleges won't give you timetables, but that's where the mature students will give you the timetables in last year, just to see how did that work for me. So the more information you can get, the better you'll hope your decision will be, and that you'll be more confident in it. So definitely, I love Careers Portal. It's really good to use it, and Qualifax is there also with a lot of the dates. Yeah. I think everyone seems to have their few bits and pieces. Okay. Well, thank you for your time today, and we hope to see you soon, and the best of luck with your application. And as you've seen last week, with our mature students who came back to do a talk with us for our first workshop, we hope that you'll be with us in the future as one of them speakers. So thanks for your time, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.